Let's make some noise. Come on.
Yeah, and thank you, Nick Foles, once again for that rousing. Thank you, Super Bowl MVP and Super Bowl champion Nick Foles, for that rousing introduction. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome into the final word. Here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network with your boy MattyB on the call Monday night edition. It is Victory Monday across the Delaware Valley and all of Philadelphia Eagles Nation, and it is Victory Monday here on this program because we're going to spend some more time tonight talking about that dominance of defense of the Eagles yesterday, 13-12 winners over them Buffalo Bills. We're going to get into more of the X's and O's. We're going to talk a little bit about the fallout of Victory Monday. I love the Eagles media. I love the Eagles fan base, most of them. We get right to the heart of things. So we're going to get into some of the fallout of Victory Monday. It's funny that I'm going to say fallout of Victory Monday, not the jubilation and the pride and the excitement and the honor of a Victory Monday. No. We're going to get into the fallout of a Victory Monday because, we can continuously gloss over it and we can continuously talk about how dominant the Eagle defense was, and we can completely ignore the offense, which we're not going to do on this show. We're going to give the offense its due, more probably than the defense. Nick Sirianni spoke to the assembled media, didn't say absolutely anything, and a couple interesting facts were uncovered by me today about the ineptitude of this Eagle offense. We'll get into all that here tonight. Team USA, folks, of the World Junior Hockey Championships happening currently in Minnesota, the IIHF World WJC, the World Junior Championships. Team USA looking to three-peat as champions of that tournament. Won tonight, won just a few minutes ago, beat Slovakia 6-5, 5-4, something like that. They are now 3-0. They got one more pool game left against, I believe it's Sweden, on New Year's Day or New Year's Eve. And then starting on January 2nd, we'll move into the quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals as Team USA looks to three-peat at the WJC. We'll talk a little bit about IIHF, 6 Flyer prospects representing their native nations around the world in this tournament. Porter Mortone donning the C for Team Canada. And what is that? Jet Lachenko's also on Canada. We got one player on Team USA, Shane Visagi. We talked about him a couple weeks ago on this program. So the Flyers are aptly represented on these teams at the IIHF's World Junior Championships happening currently in Minnesota. Minneapolis and St. Paul, I believe, are the host cities. So we'll get into that. Fantasy football front and center tonight too, folks. Fantasy football. I am I got 3 quarters left. And I will be crowned my league's champion for 2025. I am 45 points ahead of my competitor right now. He's got the Ram defense, and he's got Karen Williams or something like that. And I am 45 points up on him. And I'm looking for my first fantasy football championship since 2004. Man, I've been on a drought for almost 21 years. So I'm looking to break the schneid tonight as the champion of my fantasy league. We'll get into some fantasy football talk because most fantasy leagues around the country, around the land, are ending tonight. And be interested to hear how you did in your fantasy football this season. If you suck it out, a lot of people don't stick it out. And honestly, I was sort of a benefactor of that this year. I ain't going to lie. But we'll get into some of that. The Flyers are back at it last night in a listless effort against the Seattle Kraken. They fell, 4-1? And then tomorrow night in Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton, before coming home next week as they're on their little Western Canadian / Pacific Northwest road trip. Get into some hockey if there's time available. Your day in Philadelphia sports history of the night and your card review. All that on the program this evening as we get ready here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. And listen, here's the schedule for the week. Tonight, you had the Pittsburgh Sports Tonight program and me. Tomorrow, once again, Pittsburgh Sports Tonight, but we got some propping, locking, and parlaying happening at 8 o'clock, me at 9, and then Flyers Canucks with me on the post game. Remember how this is going to work. I am not going to be on the final word from 9 o'clock till what? Christ, the game's at 10 o'clock tomorrow. I am not staying on the final word for 4 hours and then doing a post-game show. No, I'm going to go off the air, come back when the Flyer Canuck game goes final to do a separate Clear the Ice program. So if those of you were wanting me to do a marathon final word, you're sorely mistaken. I have a life, folks. On New Year's Eve, we got the best of the It's a Wrap Sports Network from the past week. 4 p.m., it is verified, confirmed, locked in. The Birds Blast will return with Kyle Quinn on 4 p.m. New Year's Eve. Me and Kyle will break down the game that was and talk about the game that will be. And then you got me, Flyers, Flames on New Year's Eve again. So no final word on New Year's Eve. I'm trying to fit in an actual New Year's Eve in between the Birds Blast and the end of the Flyers game. So I'm going to go celebrate with my family, ring in 2026, and then come back here and do the post game. And then on New Year's Day, you got the final word with me, Philly Friday Frenzy, Flyers Oilers on Saturday. And then we spin this big magical machine all over on Sunday and do it all over again. So full week of programming here on the network, even though we have another holiday at our midst. Adams checks in. What's going on, Adam? How are you? Happy Monday. Happy Monday indeed to you, sir. Joe Hale. Joe, what's up, man? Hey, MattyB, how was your my Christmas was well, Dave. How was yours? Did you did Santa bring you everything you wanted? Did you lie on your list? Did you say I was nice, but I was naughty? How were you, Dave? How did you get the Red Ryder BB gun that you wanted? You know what they say, right? Yeah, you'll shoot your eye out. So I hope you got what you wanted. MattyB, can you open the phone lines? I can, Joe Hale, of course. I will open the phone lines tonight. Adam says his fantasy team finished 3-11. Yeah, Adam, listen. I feel you. I've been there many times. Never 3-11 though. That's bad. Now I don't know you, Adam. I don't know your allegiances or how you draft these teams, but are you one of those, let's face it, individuals that, draft a little bit with your heart more than your head? How many current Philadelphia Eagles are on your fantasy football team, Adam? Be honest. I want to know. Not to say that's why you're 3-11. I ain't going to say that, but sometimes we get clouded, and not just we, but other fan bases in general, as we pick with our hearts instead of our heads. I honestly currently drafted 2 Eagle players in 2025, stuck with them the whole season, but that's it, 2. Jake Elliott and the defense. That's it. I have not deviated. I did not take anybody else from the Eagles on my fantasy team. Now, 9-6 regular season, a benefactor of the of what I said earlier about a lot of the people in my league kind of picked up camp and took off around week 7. A couple times there in the second half, I was playing teams that had 4 players in the starting lineup currently on IR. I ain't gonna lie. All right, well, I think we've all been there. That's not my fault. I came to play. That's all that matters. But I didn't pick with my heart. Now, I've done that before. I have. I picked with my heart. Not to say that again, that's the reason why I've lost, but I found it very refreshing over the past 4 or 5 years not to do that. Adam says he got 4. Yeah, he's got 4 Eagles. That's too many. Yes. Listen, and not because they're Eagles, right? First of all, they all get the same bye week. So you got to replace 4 members of your roster during 1 week. That's too much for me to manage, man. That's a lot. So, I don't know. We said me 0-17. What's up, Star Wars? Speaking his native planet language right there, boy. I have no idea what you're talking about, man. I got Jalen Hurts, Dallas Goedert, Devontae Smith, and Jake Elliott. Good players. Good. Smitty's a little bit of a fantasy enigma. He's a little bit of a fantasy enigma. Good player, but a fantasy enigma. Hurts, solid fantasy player. Goddard, a solid fantasy player. And Jake Elliott, of course, I have him as well. So, again, I'm not going to bag on you for it, man, but that's 4 players that all have the same bye week. So I kind of stay away from that. I saw the Cowboys win on Christmas Day in Maryland. Once again, Santa didn't come through for the boys to make the playoffs. Listen, you need more than Santa for that one. All right, that's a bigger get than Santa. I always thought the Cowboys were going to run the Eagles down, Dave. I'm not going to lie to you. I felt very firmly that the Cowboys were going to run the Eagles down at a certain point this season, especially during that 3-game losing streak. Really, the Cowboys honestly had an opportunity. They did, and they did. But it was to not, as the Eagles did clinch the division. And we're going to also talk tonight a little bit about the seeding and the seeding situation and the NFL Week 18 schedule. All the flexing that went on yesterday. And I'm going to try to make sense out of it. And maybe you can help me because some of it I don't understand. I don't understand why right off the bat, why the hell are the Eagles flexed to 4:30? Who cares? Eagles and Commanders at 4:30. Why is that game at 4:30? And more importantly, why are Bears Lions at 4:30 as well? That makes absolutely no sense. I can see if you put the Bears and Lions at 1, because of course the Eagles would have something to know if they're going to play for at 4:30. But you're putting them on both at the same time at 4:30? Makes no sense to me. So we're going to get into the flex schedule for Week 18 as well. So let's get into the show. Let's strap in, strap on, strap up. Keep your head, hands, and feet inside the car at all times. And here we go, your day in Philadelphia sports history. Back in 2009, in Temple's first bowl game since 1979, the UCLA Bruins handed the Owls a 30-21 defeat in the Eagle Bank Bowl. Never even heard of that. The season was a success, however, for fourth-year coach Al Golden, who led the Owls to their first winning season since 1990. Too much too soon. Golden's historic resurrection of Temple football made bigger programs take notice, not bigger problems. Well, it did for Temple. Following the 2010 season, Golden agreed to coach the prestigious, though flawed, Miami Hurricanes. So Temple returning to some sort of prominence under Al Golden there in his 4 years with the program, getting them back to the bowl game in 2009. Of course, he left after 10. It dipped again, but then it rose really high in 2014, 2015 under Matt Rule. Had about a 3 or 4 year solid run as a respectable college football program before going right back in the crapper, and that's where they remain today. So a very rare day in Philadelphia sports history involving the Temple Owls. You don't hear that too often. Matter of fact, I believe January 1st, there's another day in Philadelphia sports fact involving the Owls as well. So mark these on your calendar, folks, because they don't come around that often. So there's your day in Philadelphia sports history. Al Golden leads Temple Owls to a bowl game in 2009. Woohoo! And that was brought to you by the good folks over at the AM or Philly AM. Again, it's going to take me some time to figure this show title out. The Philly AM Sports Show featuring Big Al and Mike Lara every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Your Sundays still will never be the same with the Philly AM Sports crew. Make sure you're there every Sunday morning at 9 to finish up your weekend, start your Sunday, whatever coin you come out on, or whatever side of that coin you come out on. So make sure you're tuning in. Do I think JT Realmuto is coming back this year? No, I do not. Not because. So I did going into the offseason, but as we've had some time now to sort of sort through all this and the lack of movement on both sides, we don't obviously no one knows what's going on. Well, somebody does. We don't. I thought heading into the offseason, very selfishly, he'd be back because very selfishly, what were the other options that the Phillies had? Right? I mean, we don't have any viable catching options. We've profiled some of the catching options. Caden Hedinger, who is the highest young catcher we have. Matter of fact, the Phillies just signed a tweener last week. That's a straight AAA guy to replace Peyton Henry, who signed with the Yankees. The other tweener that was a straight AAA guy down in Lehigh last year. So I didn't really consider those types of players any sort of prospect. But for us, Caden Hedinger in AA, Disson down there in where's Disson at? Was he high A last year? And then Farabus down there in the rookie leagues. We got nothing, nada in the catching pool because of your president of baseball operations decision to not only trade Logan O'Hoppe, but to say, hold my beer and let's get rid of Eduardo Tait as well. So we have absolutely nothing MLB ready in the catching system unless you're looking at Party Boy Stubbs as that next option, and that's not an option. Marshawn's a very good young player, but is he ready to take over a team that allegedly has World Series aspirations, and can he lead that staff, a veteran-laden pitching staff and a veteran-laden team? Can he be that leader behind the plate? Probably not. He's a good option, a good bench piece, a good secondary option, what have you, but there was nobody else. So I selfishly thought, and a lot of other fans thought the same thing. Yeah, hell yeah, JT's coming back. But I think little did I forget, and I've been reminded of this over the last few days. Do you remember 2020, the COVID year? JT or Bryce Harper rounding the bases at the cardboard cutout Citizen Bank Field or Park, yelling, "Sign him." Remember those days? Well, there was issues back then between JT and management to get a contract done. And maybe some of those issues have bled into this negotiating period between JT and management. And maybe JT is not. Hold on to your hat here. This could be a shocker to a lot of people. Maybe JT's not all about the Phillies. Maybe JT is all about himself a little bit when it comes to getting paid one last time as he kind of cycles out of his MLB career. So maybe he wasn't all about giving hometown discounts, putting on his Philly Fanatic headband and all that. Maybe he was all about business here. And maybe he's holding out for years and or money or both. And maybe it's now a point of negotiation, a stalemate between the Phillies and JT. As I'm not trying to say that maybe there were, I hope there were. If they don't bring him back, fine. Who in the hell are you going for? Like James McCann? I mean, he's still hanging around out there, right? I mean, what are we doing behind the plate? Because we have nothing MLB ready. Now, Logan O'Hoppe would be primed to step in this year as the starting catcher of the Phillies. If we would have kept hold of his ass instead of going after Brandon Marsh. But no use crying over spilled milk, I'm told. Get over it. Get on with my life. I'm told all those things. So I am trying to. I still miss him. Still miss Logan O'Hoppe. Yeah. I even bought a Logan O'Hoppe Phillies jersey. Never to be worn. I cannot break down and buy me a Logan O'Hoppe Angel jersey. I never will do that. But there's nothing in the system, Adam. So what's the option? If it's not JT, what's the option? And JT knows this. JT knows he is the only option for the Phillies. If they want to keep the window of winning going, they want to keep competing, he knows it's him or who. There's nobody there. So JT could be using this as leverage against the Phillies to kind of milk them for anything and everything they got. So no, I don't think he's coming back. Based on, honestly, he would have signed already. Right? Now, if it's a process of going back and forth, someone taking a hard stance, the other side taking a hard stance, whatever, no give, no play, what have you, another team is going to come in and they're going to throw something at JT and he's probably going to take it. Or the Phillies are going to get to the point where, fine, whatever, we're not giving you 5 years, $50 million. I ain't doing that. Or 5 years, $150 million. We ain't doing that. I don't think he is anymore. But the bigger question is, who is for me? And I know it's going to upset some fans out there who hold on to this JT Realmuto love like almost as passionate as they hold on to Jalen Hurts love. He's not the best catching option in the league anymore. He was the best catching option that we had and still is. And he's the best catching option out there on the free agent market. And there's teams out there that are requiring a catcher. There's some teams out there that could definitely use a full-time catcher that's sort of back end of his career, a veteran that could provide that leadership, provide that instruction. And the catching is such an important, people don't realize how important the catcher spot is defensively. And that's why if you look at a lot of your former coaches or your current coaches and managers, they're all former catchers. Joe Girardi, because essentially they're the coach on the field for the defense and for the pitchers. They align the defense, and obviously they're calling the game with the help of the coaching staff. There's so much that goes into being a catcher, and it's such an important position that gets constantly overlooked when you're building a baseball team. So, I mean, for that aspect of it, he's one of the best in baseball. Offensively, he's on a decline. His durability, I mean, it was pretty good this year, but how much more are you're gonna want from him? And even if they bring him back for the next 2 years, then what? Again, Caden Hedinger, Jordan Disson, I'm forgetting somebody in there. The kid from North Carolina. Give me a minute. I can see him in my eyes, but then you got Farabus down at low rookie league instructional. There's nobody ready at all in the system. So I don't know what your long-term option for catcher is either. But to answer that question very, very longly, no, I don't. Ravens Steelers Sunday Football. Who do you think wins? I think the Ravens win that game. Steelers had their shot, man. They had their shot against Cleveland, and they blew it. The Ravens will win that game, and they will win the AFC North. And then that means, you guys know this, right? That because if they win the AFC North, then the Ravens are coming to Philly next year for the 2026 season. Because we will play the first place team in the AFC North because the NFC East is playing the AFC South. And because of the geographical rivalry for that extra game, it's the AFC North. And of course, we'll get the first place team, and that would be the Ravens. So that would mean the Ravens come to Philly next year. I think the Ravens win. I don't care, but I think the Ravens win. I don't believe JT is coming back now. I think so. What? I don't believe JT is coming back now. I think so. Christ, Kaepernick, what are you talking? I don't believe JT is coming back, but now I think no. Okay. So Dombrowski should sign Bader now. What, we going to convert Bader to a catcher? Don't forget, we don't sign JT. What are you doing? What's the option? We're focused on the offense. I mean, rightfully so focused on the offense, but now you've already added another problem. You got to figure out the catching position. Look, and my concern is that they throw a bunch of money at Real Muto because they're desperate for him to come back because we just don't have any other options. So talk about a situation where the player has all the leverage. I don't know how they're conducting this negotiation, honestly. Dombrowski's really painted himself into a corner this year, man. This offseason has been terrible for the Phillies. Absolutely terrible. And, we're what? Less than 60 days away from the start of spring training? Or, what is this? Pitchers and Catchers Report Valentine's Day or the 12th, around there. So we're coming up, 45 days? Something like that? Away from the report from the start of spring training? Let that sink in for a second. We're like 45 days away from spring training. And we still don't have a team. This upcoming Philly season has aspirations of possibly a World Series. You better be watching Pedro. I'm not saying it's legit. That's what the management wants you to think, that they're all in to win it, right? Well, we know better. Logan O'Hoppy guy. Hey, listen, I bet you. I remember when that trade happened to me and you were talking about it. I bet you're singing out the other side of your mouth now, man. I mean, if you could redo that trade, honestly, would you redo it? Logan O'Hoppy, Brandon Marsh. Could we have lived our lives the last few years without Brandon Marsh and have the next catcher, for good or for bad, lined up already to take over? It possibly would not give JT Realmuto all this leverage. Might be a little bit better of a negotiating tool for the Phillies. I don't know. I thought Schwarber will take hometown. No one's taking a hometown discount, Star Wars. That's such a fallacy, man. Ain't no one taking no hometown discount. Nobody. But nobody. All right. Where are we at here? Where are the comments? Okay, so yes, we are 25 minutes into the show. Phone lines are open. So you should be seeing it popping into your streams right now onto your social media platforms. Go ahead and click the link if you want to be part of the show directly. I will. The link will put you backstage. I will bring you on stage and discuss whatever it is you want to discuss. Now, remember, you don't need your camera, right? If you don't feel comfortable having me look at you or you look at me, If you like want to keep that advantage over me, that's fine. I just need to be able to hear you and talk, and you need to be able to talk. So, or I guess I need to be able to hear you and you need to be able to talk. So, come on. This is your shot, everybody. You have your opportunity. You don't like what I say? Come on and tell me so directly to my face. Step away from your keyboards and come at me directly. The phone lines are open on the Final Word with MattyB here on this beautiful Monday night. And I don't like what you got to say, Papernick.
What up, Matty?
Oh, man,
can you hear me?
I got you, Papernick. You there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, Papernick. I got you.
Okay. So what I was saying about Bader was, if you're not going to sign JT, you might as well just go with Bader in center field. And just go with Marchand behind. Just go with Marchand then. I mean, you're going to have to. I mean, you're going to have to trade for somebody, you know?
So are you asking for a Marchand Stubbs battery?
I'm not asking for it. No. I'm not. Okay, how's this sound? If you, not Stubbs, if they got to get somebody else to back them up, they have. If they can't go with Marchand, but if Marchand's your starter, I mean, you got to figure out. Bader can probably give you the same numbers that Remuto would give you,
possibly.
So, and your outfield now is Garcia, Bader, Crawford. That's a pretty. Crawford and Bader can cover some ground.
Yeah,
out there. So I think that would help. That's going to help out. I don't believe JT's coming back. I mean, all that talk he did about I take a 2-year deal, or up to a 2-year deal and a hometown discount. Nah, it ain't happening. Nah. He's long gone. I heard. I just saw something. What team was it? Boston? No. I just saw there was some other team that's interested in him. But let's get to these Eagles.
Let's talk Eagles, Papernick.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you something. This team is in trouble. They're going to go into the playoffs probably on a 4-game win streak. If they should beat Washington, but it's the worst 4-game win streak you could ever be on because you beat 3 JV teams and a Buffalo fraud Bills team. That what did they prove? They put up 1 touchdown in that game. 1 touchdown against the Bills. What are they going to do if they have to face San Francisco or some team that's pretty decent and can put points up?
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned this because with my fantasy, part of my show tonight is my fantasy football team, and I'm in the championship game, and I'm literally on my way to victory. I am blowing out my opponent, and it ends tonight. Anyway, one of my the man who has held my team together all season long was Christian McCaffrey. And he was putting up routinely between 28 and 35 points every week. I get the Eagle defense is really playing well, but they have not seen Christian McCaffrey. They have not seen a healthy Christian McCaffrey in a very long time, and I fear what a healthy Christian McCaffrey will do to this Eagle defense.
Oh, the only silver lining would help the Eagles is San Francisco's offensive line isn't that good.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But I mean, you have to pick your devil. You have to pick who you want to get beat by, McCaffrey or Purdy's arm. So I guess I put it all on Purdy and see what he can do. You know, I like it, this. This is falling on Jalen. It's falling this is how I look at it. It's falling on the offense, the players, whether they can't get out of their breaks, Jalen holding the ball too long, patting the ball, whatever. Brown wanting to decide he wants to be in the game. I'm assuming Smith, I don't think he gives up plays, but he's got to be getting tired of being not looked around a lot because of Brown crying on the other side. You got to feed in the ball, You
never hear that. Devontae Smith just puts his head down and goes to work. You never hear. Well, Devontae Smith is the greatest teammate ever, man. I would love a team of Devontae Smiths, honestly.
Yeah. Then you got the offensive coordinator who can't adapt in the second half of yesterday's game. They only put up like 16 or 17 yards in the second half. They only had 1 first down. They punted the ball 5 times, a bunch of 3 and outs, and everybody's excited about this Eagles team. I told these Buffalo Bill fans, go out and have your parade. If you beat us, have your parade out front because that's the only parade you're going to get this year. I told them that while I was out yesterday.
So, as you say, some of the numbers. So this was the second game this season that Jalen Hurts failed to complete a pass in a half of football.
0 for 7.
The Tampa game earlier this season, he did not complete a pass in the second half. And this game. Now, there's even more putrid numbers about Jalen Hurts. So there have been 10 games this year where a team had fewer than 5 passing yards in a half. Eagles have 3 of those 10 games to their credit this season. Well, I mean, so this is what makes this whole Jalen Hurts elite conversation. Now, there is something though, Papernick, and I want your opinion on this. I'm not gonna give the pass to Kevin Petula. The play calling was a little like, what the hell were you doing? I mean, you're running curl routes on 3rd and 8, 6 yards away, 6 yards out. Why are you? What is this? But I want your honest opinion. Is it the buffoonery or the inexperience of your offensive coordinator, or is it lack of trust either with the quarterback or the offensive line or with the receivers or with somebody on the field that's preventing the Eagles from running plays like a normal football team? What do you think?
I think it's a combination of both.
Okay.
I think it's a combination. But I put a little bit more on the offensive coordinator because I've seen no creativity this year. You have Tank and you have Saquon. Why aren't they both in the backfield at the same time? Put some pressure on the defense. Who's going to get the ball? Why ain't he? I see these other teams run all these motions and all this. And here's the Eagles. You only see A.J. Brown move over about 2 feet. Sometimes Devontae Smith move, and that's it. I mean, this team is predicated on the run. We all know that. That's what they're built to do. But they can't do it. So what was Andy Reid's way of Andy Reid hated the run. What was his greatest thing to do? Let's do a screen pass to Westbrook and just let them loose. So we don't even see that. We'll see a screen pass, but there's only one wide receiver out there against 4 defenders. Where's the offensive line?
Now, the Eagles Doug Peterson was good with the screens. Nick Sirianni is terrible at executing screens. He doesn't know how to draw them up. The team doesn't know how to execute them. I've never seen a team completely fall off a cliff when it comes to running a staple play in the NFL. Now, granted, the defenses have gotten wise to it. You can't run it 10 times a game, but you can run it and get somebody off their heels once or twice. It'll work.
Look, Nick Sirianni, I'm shocked he can play tic-tac-toe. But I mean the write up he can't now. That's why that's bad over there. That's why I put more on the play calling, because if the offensive coordinator is inept, you got a head coach who's inept. I mean, they're trying to figure out how to put 1 and 1 together over there. I mean, that's I could put my grandson out there and do that. Now I'm going to get off with this, Matty. The biggest sham this year, right now, is Cam Jurgens and Jalen Carter, all pros. And I love them both. Neither one are all pros this year. And they made the team.
Well, don't forget, the all-pro voting is by the fans. It's probably the biggest popularity contest ever. Yeah, we got to give it some credit. I'll give you Cam Jurgens as sort of like a head-scratcher, but I can see why Jalen Carter got in. He's becoming a new face of the NFL, for good or for bad, for his performance or his off-the-field stuff. It's still, his name is beginning to spread. I always look at the all-pro voting. That's what I want to see. That's by the coaches, right? That's what I want to see. Like, that to me is the honor. Pro Bowl, it's a popularity contest. I get it. I understand the Cam Jurgens point, but no, I can see Jalen Carter getting voted in.
But what about Jordan Davis?
Again, popularity contest. He's not very popular. No one likes Jordan Davis.
Well, real fast, what do you think about Max Crosby walking out on the Raiders?
Great, but he's under contract. Are you prepared to give up what they're going to want?
Well, here's the deal for that. You ready? Jordan Davis, you sign him, package it, maybe with a Jalen Hunt or something, and you put Nolan Smith on one side, Crosby on the other, with maybe a couple picks in there somehow.
Anything that you could do to make that happen, I would be on board with. Anybody on this team is tradable. Does A.J. Brown get factored into a Vegas trade? Maybe, I mean, the Eagles got some
he's going to be in New England.
Play with. I know you keep saying but
he is. I'm telling you, he's going to be in New England next year because that's where he wants to play. He's from there, and New England needs another playmaker opposite side of Diggs.
Give Drake May.
Yes.
Drake May and AJ Brown is going to be an interesting combination if that happens.
And we all know Diggs will probably cry his way out of there, but now you got a younger version. You got a young guy who, they still have him for another year, for a few years. That's just me. I think I don't see the Raiders. I mean, I'd boycott that team. I'd do what John Elway did to the Colts. I'm not going there.
Man, that's when we were getting ready to play them, I was talking about that. When I was a kid, I mean, the Raiders were it. That's silver and black. That's the commitment to excellence, all that. Al Davis, that was NFL royalty. Good God,
Sure.
That franchise is falling apart, man. Falling apart.
Yeah, with John Matuzak and all them guys.
Howie Long, Jim Plunkett, Marcus Allen, Tim Brown, Marcus Hayes.
Cliff Branch.
Yes. I mean, God.
Lester Hayes.
That was a team.
Stickums. Lester Hayes with the Stickums.
Yes. With Jerry Curl, man. That was the stuff.
And the famous red phone on the sideline, like Warren Sapp said, Al Davis would call down and call plays into the game. But that's
football.
I'll tell you I'm going to just say this: the biggest stink up yesterday was the Jaguars losing to the Colts, and a 95-year-old statue in that court, and Philip Rivers was stealing money.
Oh man, Rivers,
right, man, you have a good night. Hey, you have a good night. If I don't talk to you before New Year's, Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year's to you and yours, Michael Papernick. Again, we'll be back tomorrow. But if we don't see each other, Happy New Year, Michael Papernick. Everybody, very good stuff. Gets me thinking again. I remember thinking about that when we were doing. We were getting ready for the Raiders game. Thinking about what happened, man. What happened to that franchise? Dave Yarnold, 21. Falcons up 21. I see that. The Ram defense, 1 point. That's Daddy wants to hear that, man. I got it. That's good news to me. Bijan just ran for a 91-yard touchdown. Whoa. Big Al says CMC carried his team as well. It's a gamble every year, Al, when you see Christian McCaffrey hanging out there in the draft and it's your pick, and you're like, ooh, if I take him, it's game-changing. If he can stay healthy. And that's the big if with him. But 2025 was the year up to this point. Well, actually, I don't care anymore because he played yesterday. But 2025 was the year to this point that if you gambled on McCaffrey and you had an opportunity to get him in the first round of your fantasy draft and you said, to hell with it, man, I'm going with him. And if you did that like I did, and Al looks like he did, and who knows, maybe Al took him later than the first round. Maybe he fell because of that durability issue. But if you took him, you were rewarded, as I am literally on my way to winning this thing. And a big part of that is Christian McCaffrey's credit. So thank you, CMC, for your contributions to Go Birds 25, Matty B's team in fantasy football. And on my way to my first championship since 04. So looking forward to that. Is it funny that both games where he fails to complete a pass and a half, they won both? Are you talking to me as a homer right now, Al, or are you actually saying, is it funny, like funny, like funny, like it's concerning funny? No, it's not funny. Any way you look at it, it's actually it's disgraceful. It's disgraceful that this is what we're doing with the football team offensively. It's disgraceful that $200 million pays for this on the offensive side of the ball. The epitaph of the Eagles in 2025 is going to be the following: the defense carried them all the way to a Super Bowl, or what happened to the offense, or the cavalcade of rotating offensive coordinators continues. One of those three stories are going to be what it encapsulates the 2025 Eagles. I don't understand why it's the way it is. Me and Papernick were talking a little bit about that. Why is this team so conservative? Why won't they let Jalen Hurts loose? You're not going to get love from me. You know that when it comes to Hurts. I think he's a good quarterback, but why Are they afraid of him? Do they not trust him to make the plays or to attempt to make the plays? Because yes, with every attempt to make a play, there could be a turnover. There could be an incompletion. There could be whatever. But have they resigned themselves coaching wise? And if you watch last night's game, and if you watched a bulk or all of the Eagles games this season, you're going to have to start thinking that it can't be because the offensive coordinator and the head coach are this stupid. It can't be. This is the NFL, right? There's got to be an underlining reason why they won't turn this offense loose. Is it the Saquon Barkley effect? Is it because whatever's going on with Saquon ain't working anymore? NFL teams have figured it out, and now they're keying on Jalen, and we're afraid to give Jalen the opportunity to make plays because he's going to turn the football over or do whatever with it. There's got to be a reason. Don't tell me it's talent. God help you if you tell me it's talent, Big Al. Friggin' Hurts hugger. All right? Don't even go there with me with talent. This team's got a $200 million price tag on the offensive side of the ball. The talent allegedly is there. There's something else. And I don't buy the offensive coordinator is stupid. I don't buy that. Is it the offensive line? Is that the problem? I don't know how much longer we're going to talk about that, about the offensive line's injuries. Maybe they're just not good for whatever reason. And again, what's the reason? How did that fall off a cliff in 1 year? Does it all go back to Saquon Barkley? No one's afraid of him anymore. They've figured him out. Spagnuolo gave you the blueprint in Super Bowl 59 of how to stop Saquon, and every team has picked up on it, and now you've turned the team over to Jalen Hurts, and the coaches don't trust Jalen Hurts for that, so they've altered their game plan, and it's what you see every week. Kind of like what I said was going to happen if Saquon could not replicate 2024. But there's got to be a bigger reason, and not because the offensive coordinator is stupid. I'm not buying that. Sorry, Mike, but Crosby is going to be a Cowboy. You know what? Interesting point, Dave. I mean, you're in league to get something like that to kind of fix the old Micah Parsons situation. But does the Dallas Cowboys have the capital to go after a Max Crosby? As a matter of fact, does anybody have the capital to go after a Max Crosby? They're going to want a ransom for him. But Crosby, Bowers, Mayer, anybody that has any value, I mean any value, on the Raiders, I'll be shipping out of there. I want to retool with like a bazillion draft picks over the next 5 years. I'm casting them all out, man. We're starting over again. And, Crosby's top of the list. So the Raiders are going to hold teams hostages, man. They're going to hold teams hostages, and they're probably going to get an asking price. It comes down to, is Jerry Jones stupid enough, probably, to make a price move on Max Crosby? I'd do it. Wouldn't be holding it against him. I'd do it in a heartbeat. Can you imagine him here? Whew. Man. Criminal Josh Allen wasted 8 years. Now he's all beat up. No, he's not. I mean, he's hobbling around last night. Josh Allen's a good quarterback, man. He is. It's just as good as Jalen Hurts. Yeah, I'd say. But I also say this. You're throwing the Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks. Still in the league? I mean, is this the best they got wide receiver wise? It all comes down to talent. And John Williams, I don't know you. And welcome to the show, by the way. Please like, share, and subscribe. That's what all the panderers say. I'm going to say it anyway because we're building something special here. But the homers here in this town for the Eagles, and you know what a homer fan is, right? Slobbering, drinking green Kool-Aid here. They drink green Kool-Aid here. They feel that Jalen Hurts has transcended himself beyond the mortal plane, right? That he is the next coming of whatever when it comes to football players. They don't want to hear you say, well, maybe it might be the talent. Don't forget the $200 million offensive talent that's on this football team. Put Josh Allen on this team for one season. I think he wins the Super Bowl. Honestly do. Matter of fact, he probably wins the Super Bowl, and he probably makes Kevin Padula jump up and down on the sidelines with joy because now he can actually unfold or unstaple pages 19 through 54 of the playbook that they can't use because of Jalen Hurts. So be careful. I mean, be concerned, and your point's validated and valid. And looking at Josh Allen needs to look outward towards Buffalo and look at the Bills management and say, "What have you done for me, man? I got nothing." So it all really comes down to talent, in my opinion. Unless you're Tom Brady, then you can win with anybody. Just like Joe Hale can. What's up, man? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Where were you on Christmas? I thought you were going to come wearing a Santa Claus suit.
No, I was with family.
That doesn't concern me. Why weren't you here?
I didn't get them until like 12:30 in the morning.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope you had a good time. Were you wearing your Santa outfit with family?
I wore it to work. I work for Wawa. I want to talk seedings. You brought something up, and why the Eagles and the Bears both play at 4:30.
Why?
Because,
does that make any sense?
Yes, I'm going to explain this to you.
Okay, let's hear it.
So would you rather go to Seattle or San Fran?
What's that?
Would you rather go to Seattle or San Fran, the second playoff game? Because if they would get the third seed, because they're going to get 2 home games in the playoffs because the number one's a bye. But
so hang on, Joe. Let's back up. So would I rather go to Seattle or San Fran? I'd probably want to go to San Fran because that might be the closest the Eagles get to the Super Bowl. So yes, let's go to San Fran. And as far as the seeding goes, I get it. But my question about Week 18 is why these games are scheduled the way they are. Right. So the Eagles are going to go into that 4:30 game, probably playing for something, and potentially. And this could be obviously a topic we're going to get into more this week. Do you rest your starters? Do you push for that number 2 seed? But you don't even have the ability to sit and say, well, you know what? Detroit and Chicago, man, they're playing at 1:00. Let's just watch this game. And then at 4:30, when we go, we'll make our decision. No, both these games are happening at the same time. So it's like the NFL's hamstringing the Eagles or making the Eagles play their starters.
They did it for the markets in Philly and Chicago, for the teams.
Now, both these games were originally scheduled at 1:00.
Yeah,
so but I figured they'd be flexed around because of the seating issue.
Every game was supposed to be at 1:00.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, now they have. So there is 4:30 games and there is a Sunday night game, but none of them were actually locked in. Everything was at 1:00, but they weren't all going to go off at 1 because of playoff implications. Yeah. It happens like that every Week 18.
So, San Fran just dealt with a major injury. I'm going to give you some breaking news. Trent Williams is done for the year. Their middle linebacker, done for the year now. The corner's done for the year.
Is Christian McCaffrey done for the year?
McCaffrey's hurt.
Oh, he's been banged up all year, but he's not hurt. No, there's a level of hurt with McCaffrey, and he's not at that level. He's banged up, but he's McCaffrey healthy for him. He's healthy as hell in his standards.
I think Seattle goes in that game
Saturday.
Oh, Saturday night.
Yep.
And wins.
Think Seattle wins that game? It's gonna be a good game.
Yeah. Seattle wins.
So that'd be Sam Darnold's coming out game, if anything. They need Sam Darnold to play like it's a playoff game. You know what I mean?
Those would face the Rams. The Rams are the Packers. Here's why the seeding is what it is. The Eagles would face the worst team, which would be the Packers, right?
Okay.
And whoever the third team seed is, says the Rams, they would face the Niners. Does it make sense?
Two plays 7, right?
2 plays the worst.
Right. 2 plays 7, which would be the last wild card team.
And 3 plays 6.
And 4 plays 5. Yeah.
So you could see a matchup of Sunday's game, Carolina and Tampa in the playoffs.
That'd be interesting. That's a
here's an
game.
Interesting thought. ESPN just said it. If they tie, they go to a freeway tie with Atlanta beating Rams right now.
So Atlanta would get in?
No, you would have to, I don't know. How would that work?
There's got to be a tiebreaker down the line. They got to break it somehow. There's got to be a way to break it. There's like 19 different tiebreaker scenarios statistically that they'll use. It's got to be broken somehow. They're not going to play an extra game. That's not going to happen.
Carolina would get it. Yeah. You talk about fantasy. I won mine back-to-back last year. I'm losing right now.
Are you in the championship game right now?
Yes, I got Puka, and he's not doing anything.
How many? What is the score in your fantasy game right now, Joe?
150 to 110. Hey, and I didn't play the Eagles yesterday.
A mistake or a good thing?
Good thing.
Yeah, it was terrible offense. Yeah.
No,
well, I'm winning and I'm on my way and to my first championship since 2004. And I played religiously every year. And I'm very proud of myself, honestly, because
fans do what you next year. That would be cool. The fans versus the host.
We could do that. We can work something out like that. That's something
like
we can.
All of us. I mean, Ricky, it would be cool. Right?
It'd be fun. Yeah, it would be fun. We'll have the It's a Wrap Sports Fantasy League next year. Yeah, we'll look into that. I'll make Big Al put that together. Al, you hear me? I know you're listening.
Big Al even said, I asked him, he wants to do a call line thing, but he wants to get a real number.
Yeah. One day I will tell you the story of why he fears live phone calls or live video interaction. It's a very funny story. I'll let Al tell it.
I think I would be good with Big Al on this.
No, listen, everybody that interacts with this show would be fine with Big Al. And Al and Mike are more than perfectly capable of handling that. But again, I told you, I leave that on to the individual host to take on that situation if they want to. But no, Al will tell you the story of why he's so leery.
Okay, I'll ask him Friday.
Yeah, ask him Friday what the story is, and maybe he'll tell you because it's very funny.
I just got Santa Sack tickets for the Flyers game next Saturday against Tampa.
Against Tampa? Yeah, it's a good game. That's going to be a good game. Hopefully the Flyers can figure out this road trip here.
You know what's weird? I noticed they play Saturday, and then they play Tampa at home the following Monday.
Yeah, a little home action there.
Team Canada looks really good. The captain is a Flyers prospect. How about
Porter Martone got the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty for taunting after scoring a goal the other day. Yeah,
they played Team USA today. I don't know what the final.
Nah, USA played Slovakia today. They won't play USA until the medal round, which starts on the 2nd. I don't know what round they're going to see each other, but they don't play each other in pool play because of their different divisions or something. I didn't know that. Yeah.
So.
All right, Joe, listen, man, I'll let you go tomorrow night, and then you saw the schedule, so make sure you're tuned in, hanging out with us, all right?
Yep.
Joe Hale, everybody. Joe Hale. 21-0. Falcons are now up on the Rams in the third quarter. Big Al says, I'll tell the story Friday. I'll change the names to keep things up. Yeah, listen, it's a funny story, and it's a story that I'm leery that you saying it on the air because I just don't want any copycats. Because my luck, somebody will do that crap to me. But no, go ahead. It's a very funny story. It's very plausible. It definitely could happen, and it could have not have happened to a better person than you, Al. Because I don't know what I would have done. I probably would have done something completely different than you did. But yeah, Al will tell the story on Friday of why he's leery of taking live calls on the air. Now, in the age of video, in the age of digital that we do in StreamYard, and this is where this show is kind of platformed off of out to everybody on different other platforms. But like Kaepernick does, Kaepernick comes in, disables his camera, and just uses his audio, which is like, in essence, a friggin' phone call. You know what I mean? It's not mandatory. If you want to use your camera, I'm okay with that until something similar to what happened to Al happens to me. Then I'll stop with the cameras because I can turn your camera off on my end once you're backstage. Now, having a phone number, yeah, it is what it is. But the fact that we can incorporate the technology into this, I think, is the next step in this process with our type of what we're doing here on the digital side, as we continue to chop down the dying tree that is terrestrial sports talk radio. And so, yeah, it's good stuff. And yes, please be tuned in for that story on Friday night. Al will regale you all why he's leery of taking phone calls or taking live video on the air. And that would be on the Philly Friday Frenzy every Friday night at 9 p.m. featuring Big Al's Fury. So make sure you're there for it this Friday. So we've gone over. Let's talk a little bit about the Week 18 schedule. Heading into this, and again, this is probably a story that we kind of really start to unpeel tomorrow and then through the rest of the week. The Eagles do have an opportunity if they seem to or want to take it, or if the cards break right, to push for that number 2 overall seed. But Chicago has to lose to Detroit. Now, in years past, some of the greatest Eagle memories were set up on Week 18. I do that like this because it wasn't Week 18. It was Week 17 or whatever. I think back to the 09. Was it 09 Cowboys-Eagles at the 4:30 start game where the Eagles completely steamrolled the Cowboys? Earlier in the day, they needed they needed Houston to beat somebody or the Raiders to beat somebody in order to, I think it was the Bears, right? They had to lose, and they did. So it set the Eagles up for a higher seed, or actually they get in the goddamn playoffs. You had a potential situation here, but both the Eagles game got flexed to 425. So the Eagles Commanders will be a 425 on Sunday. The Bears Lions game, which was at 1 as well on Sunday, was also flexed to 425 on Sunday afternoon. So why would you flex both of them? I definitely can see flexing one of them, and it would probably make more sense to flex the Eagles game and leave the Bears Lions at 1 so the Eagles can kind of figure out what they're going to do heading into this game. No, you're going to start them at the same time. Now, they are going to have 2 games on Saturday, and they're going to have the Sunday night game, which will be Pittsburgh and Baltimore, which the 2 games on Saturday are San Fran, Seattle, and then the other one for the, Texans and somebody going at it for the, is it Houston and Jacksonville going at it for the South. And then on Sunday night, you got Steelers and Ravens for all the marbles in the AFC North. So I understand those games. I understand why you did that, but why would you flex the Eagles and the Bears to 4:30 on Sunday? Makes no sense to me. Somebody please try to explain it to me. I'm all ears. I want to know. All right. Let's move now to our of the night segment. We didn't do it last night. I don't want to fall too far behind on it, so let's do the of the night. All right, it's the other night segment. We're going to do Flyer Prospect tonight. We're not going to do NHL Draft Pick. Wait, was I going to do that tonight? No, Flyers Prospects tonight. We're just doing Flyer Prospects. So, but we're getting into that time of the year. When the calendar turns to January, not only am I going to be on the hook to finish up the Flyer Prospects, I got to really kick the NHL Draft Prospects into overdrive because I got to start talking Philly spotlight players. We're like 45 days away from spring training. And we don't have a catcher. We don't know who's playing, or when Nick Castellanos is playing. We don't know who's playing in left field. I mean, this team is a shambles right now, and we're 45 days away from the start of the of spring training. So, anyway, I digress. Let's talk some Flyer prospects tonight. And here's an oldie but a goodie: Hunter McDonald. We've heard this name quite a bit because he's been kind of cycling around the organization now for a few years. The left-handed defenseman who currently is on his second year with the Lehigh Valley Phantoms, 6'4", 205 pounds, definitely fits the physical profile of what I'm looking for a defenseman. He was drafted in the 6th round in the 2022 NHL draft by the Flyers. He's considered by many scouts and analysts to be a strong physical defender who efficiently or effectively applies his shot blocking, passing, and puck handling skills to his overall game. Kind of an enigma for him as probably the most sought after position group on the Flyers team right now is to stabilize that blue line. And really at this stage, when you look at it, especially earlier this season, when you were dealing with injuries to Cam York, you were dealing with the Ristolainen injury, you're dealing with that. It was pretty much an open audition for anybody to come on up and give left defense a shot for the Flyers. And as we were cycling Zamula, and we were cycling Emil Andre, and we were cycling, who else came up? Somebody else came up to do it. Not once did we see Hunter McDonald come up. And that's concerning right now, if you're Hunter McDonald, I would say, because of that instability, or the instability that was on that blue line earlier this year. He didn't even get a look at. He was looked at. He's had a cup of coffee with the Flyers, played a few games in the NHL level. I fear that the clock is about to strike midnight on Hunter McDonald and his NHL dreams. Struggling this year down in the AHL, like 3 goals, like 2 assists, -6 right now, I think is plus minus. But listen, he's stuck with the Phantoms. He's one level away. I'm not saying it's time to cut him free, but I definitely feel that time is running out on Hunter McDonald and his NHL dreams. Not that he can't have professional hockey dreams. It just might not be at the NHL level. So the Flyers 2022 6th-round pick, Hunter McDonald, is your Flyer prospect of the night. Kind of lost a little bit in the numbers games with the Flyers lately. So thank you, Michael Papernick, as always, for your support. Wishing me a good show. So let's now finish up strong with my favorite segment of the night. Yeah, this is also another segment we didn't do last night. I don't definitely want to forget this one. It's MattyB's card review, our first post-Christmas edition of the MattyB card review. And then for those of you that know me personally, which none of you do except for Al, this Christmas at the old Bernard check. So I live in a I don't know, a blended family between people and goats. No, people. We're blended, and the Benarchek Mullen crew. My ex-wife's children's last name is Mullen. Nice blended Irish-Polish family. It's something that Norman Rockwell could not have painted that better, right? For the American dream. But my stepson's big-time baseball card collector. Matter of fact, he is the reason that I got back into it. When I first got into a relationship, when I moved in with my wife now, when she was just my girlfriend then, I noticed, but when he showed me the collection, and it was a mess. It was a mess. It was a massive collection. It was 6,000-7,000 cards, but they were strewn everywhere in shoe boxes and totes, bags. Just really kind of made my OCD heart scream, right? So I went down to my mom's apartment. She lives in the same apartment complex that I also have an apartment. And she was holding on to my baseball cards that I had as a kid. And I said, Mom, I want my cards back. So I got them back. I brought them here. We blended the cards in, just like our family is. And in the summer of 2024, I began to reassemble the collection and sort of, sort it out, organize it, catalog it. And, 20,000 cards later, here we are, talking about the MattyB card review. So big time baseball card present day on Christmas for my stepson, which of course, he enjoys opening the packs. He's 15, or 16. Well, how old is he? 15. He's 15. He opens the packs, and then and then basically puts them down. So I come in behind him, and run off to the room and sit there and start, really kind of extrapolating the value out of them. We probably went through about, I would say, close to 2,000 cards on Christmas. It took me 6 hours on Christmas Day to catalog all these things. But so big baseball card family here, obviously. So this is really what kind of the origins of the MattyB card review, where we take one of those cards from our over 20,000 card collection and we sort of talk about it for the night. Tonight we're going to go we're going to talk 2025 Topps Update Series. Again, to review Topps, the king of baseball cards, issues 6 major series a season. Okay, you have Series 1, Topps Series 1, which comes out in February. Topps Series 2, which comes out May, June-ish of that year. Then you got the Chrome Series. Then you got Heritage that comes out somewhere in between, like in July. The Heritage set comes out. Then you got Topps Chrome. They come out towards the back end of the summer. Then you got the Update Series, which comes out kind of in September, October, along with the Holiday Series. They come out sort of together, or usually it's Holiday and then it's Update Series. And then at the very end, the final series that come out is the Topps Update Chrome Series, which is the granddaddy of them all, man. I mean, they're the cards, they're the real valuable cards. They're in Topps Update Chrome. So this card we're going to talk about tonight is from the 2025 Topps Update Series, and it is a insert parallel sort of special feature card that they've done over the years, where they take a card or player from the past and sort of repackage them and put this new, cool little graphic together and sort of just keep the legacy of this player alive. It's a Hall of Famer. It's a player from my youth. It's a player that I coveted greatly, that I wish he would have played for the Phillies. And we're talking about the 2025 Topps Update Series Bleacher Reachers Kirby Puckett card. Card number, what is it here? Card number BR8 from the Topps Update Series. Cool thing, they did Bleacher Reachers in Topps Update. A bunch of old-time players. George Brett's got one. I know Kirk Gibson's got one. Schmidt's got one. There's all bunch of these older players that are featured on these Bleacher Reacher cards. And this is the Kirby Puckett one. Anything with a Hall of Famer on it is worth money, regardless of what year you find it. Little card collecting tip for you there. Matter of fact, when Jeff Kent got elected into the competitive committee, or the veteran committee elected him into Cooperstown, I scurried through my collection because I know there was no Jeff Kent cards. I know that for a fact. I didn't have any Jeff Kemp in the place of honor in the binders. So I went through all my cards and all the teams he played for and all their team boxes, and I found one Jeff Kent card from 1996 when he was a Met, or 94, 96 when he was a Met. And that card's worth about, well, it's not worth a lot because it's still Jeff Kent, and I don't think it's kicked in yet about the Hall of Fame thing. And it's also a Dunruss card, so it's like worth like $5. But anyway, this is the Bleacher Reacher Kirby Puckett. This one is worth quite a bit for a 2025 card. It's worth about $12, and that's pretty fair value for a base card. This is the base card version, which there's no refracting, there's no glitter, there's no waves, there's no foil wrap, rainbow foil, none of that. It's just a straight base card, and it's worth $12 right now. Pretty cool design. I love the back. I love the purple graphic. Now, all these Bleacher Reacher cards from Topps Update in 2025 are all the same background, of course, with different players on them, but pretty cool looking card. And again, it's a Kirby Puckett card, and it's a cool insert. So definitely a keeper, definitely a card that needs to probably be put away and maintained. And that's our card tonight on the MattyB card review. The 2025 Kirby Puckett Bleacher Reacher Topps Update card, and there it is in its physical form. There's the back. The back's got a little picture of Kirby there and a little bit of a player bio. Again, a Hall of Fame player who I coveted greatly when he played. I really would love to have seen him play at Veterans Stadium. So there you have it. MattyB card review 2025 Kirby Puckett Bleacher Reacher from Topps Update Series. I like your prospect segment and down on the farm. So thank you, Adam. I appreciate it. We'll keep them rolling. They're fun to do, and I love every last second of it. What? What? Okay. I must have missed something. All right, listen. We got down and dirty tonight. MattyB is on his way to winning his fantasy football league. And as we sit here on everybody, I would imagine it's everybody's championship night, right? This is the final game for everybody, or the final night of everybody's season. Some seasons have completed in terms of teams, but this is it. The 2025 fantasy football season is complete. Kudos for all of you that participated. Kudos to all of you that stuck out the entire season and actually managed your rosters and put together a team every week that didn't have 4 players on the IR in the starting rotation. So kudos to all of you. And special kudos to all of you that have found their way sitting on the precipice of league championship glory. I am literally going to pop open the bottle of champagne and run around the house, like a wild man, because I am about to win my first fantasy football league championship since 2004. And it's, it's ending a very long streak of futility. That was bad. Matter of fact, the last time I was in the championship bracket was in 2016. So again, it's been a while. It's been a while. So it's good to be me, at least for tonight. Al's in first place by 100 points. So when you say you're in first place, is your league still happening? Are you playing your championship game? Because I imagine most leagues are, because there's no week 18. No one really participates in week 18 because of the uncertainty of who's going to play due to injury, shutting players down, season sort of, goals that are over with. But yeah, so congratulations to all you that, and again, more so who started the season. Oh, okay. So Al's in a points league that goes all weeks. Okay, cool. Well, that's got to be tough for week 18. It's going to be really tough. But congratulations to all of you that have stuck out your seasons. Yeah, I know everyone's all excited about it in August, especially, football hasn't been around in a while, and it's one of the first things that get people excited is the fantasy football season. And then you all get in your drafts, you have your fun, and then, majority of people say by week 5, 6, hell with this, I'm done. But for those of you that stuck it out, I give you a round of applause. Even if you finished in 8th place or 9th place, or even if you didn't make it into the playoffs at all, you finished in dead last. If you manage your team to the bitter end, that's a testament to your character. So, congratulations. Yeah, it's murder. It's got to be, man. Week 18. Ugh. But all right, so that's it. Fantasy football. The Eagles reaching new levels of offensive excellence against the Buffalo Bills. Did not complete a pass in the second half. The second time Jalen Hurts has attained that feat this year, as he's not completed a pass in now 2 games in one half of football. Out of the 5 games or the 10 games, what was that thing I read to you earlier? Out of the, there have been 10 games this year where a team had fewer than 5 passing yards in a half, and the Eagles now have 3 of those games. $200 million offense, and that's the numbers we're talking about. Is it the quarterback? Is it the offensive coordinator? Is it the coach? Is it the running back? Is it the offensive line? Inquiry minds want to know. And the most important question, can the defense take the team, put it on its shoulders, and lead it to a Super Bowl? Because I think a stark point of reality for a lot of Eagles fans is that's the only way they're winning a Super Bowl. The offense is not going into another level. There is no other level, right? Not at least in 2025. So is the defense ready to carry this team to a Super Bowl? We'll wait to see that thing we'll start unraveling next week. Some teams are involved in the playoffs starting next week. Winner you're in scenarios in the NFL. Pittsburgh, Baltimore, win you're in, lose you go home. So Pittsburgh and Baltimore's playoffs start on Sunday night as they have been flexed to the 8:20 game. Saturday night, you got the Panthers and Buccaneers. A win or you're in scenario. The winner of that wins the South. The loser goes home. In the West, you got the Seattle Seahawks and the Niners participating in not a winner you're in. I mean, the winner wins the division, the loser's still in. But the NFL is coming down the home stretch, and the Eagles have been flexed to 425, and so have the Bears and Lions. So makes no sense to me why both those games were flexed when you have implications involving the Eagles in that Bears and Lions game in terms of the number 2 seed. Makes no sense. Does Nick Sirianni play this game like any other game, or does MattyB get to start Sunday against the Commanders? What will he do? And we're going to have to wait and find all those answers out as we get through the rest of the week. Remember all the shows here on the network. Tomorrow night, we'll be back at it with the Clear the Ice program. I will have you double duty tomorrow. I got the final word, and then I'll come back for the Clear the Ice. And then you got me on Wednesday, and then Mike on Saturday. The Philly AM Sports Show every Sunday. Big Al's Philly Friday Frenzy. Mike Laro tomorrow night with the Locks, Props, and Parlay program. We are back one final regular season weekend for the Birds flyby Eagles Commanders. Me and Kyle will renew our acquaintance on Tuesday at 4 p.m. for the Birds Blast with Kyle Quinn, as he'll be back in studio. And then all of our Pittsburgh Steeler coverage, the Pittsburgh Steel City pre- and post-game shows, the Pittsburgh Sports Desk, which will be back next week, the Gridiron Weekly Report, which will be back next week, the Pittsburgh Sports Tonight program, which was seen earlier tonight and will be seen again tomorrow night at 7. All that greatness here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. And here's your schedule. One last look at the week. Folks, it's been a pleasure. It's been a great time. We will talk again tomorrow. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your Monday night. For those of you that went back to work, welcome back to the real world. For those of you that are still off, let the good times roll. We'll speak again tomorrow. Until then, take care.